Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I don't take it for granted. To my new subscribers, my name is Sam G. I'm your personal finance and lifestyle guy. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about some tips to help you boost your credit score. It's a conversation that I've been having with a lot of my friends in my circle, so I just wanted to put some tips out there. I've done a couple of videos in the past, but I just want to give a refresher course for people that are new so they can get some tips. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and turn on the notification bell so when I do post a video you get instant updates. Without further ado, let's get to today's video. So the first tip is probably the most obvious tip. You should always regularly check your credit score, check your credit reports for that matter. So you have credit reports from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Make sure that you're always getting those copies every single month. Well, not every month if you can. There's also CreditWise that kind of updates over time, but it's not like live updates. For the credit reports, you're allowed to pull once a year from each bureau. So you can do it maybe every quarter. Make sure you're checking your credit score. Maybe the first quarter you check with Experian, second quarter with Equifax, third quarter with TransUnion. That way you're keeping up to date on what your scores actually are at every given time. And the next major thing is to make sure that you're paying all your bills on time. So that's your credit card payments, your car payments, utility payments, anything that could adversely affect your score. Make sure that you're paying that off on time. One of the biggest issues that a lot of people have is having late payments and going to collections. Once you get to collections, it's going to have a pretty big negative score on your credit score. So always make sure that you never end up in collections and you're keeping up with all your payments, right? And that also means that get stuff that you can actually afford, right? So that you don't find yourself in a pickle should life change or should you lose a job or whatnot. You don't end up getting sent to collections or get evicted from your apartment or whatever have you. So make sure that you're always paying your payments on time. The next tip is to make sure that you always reduce your credit card balances. Always try to keep your credit utilization below 30%. For example, if I have a credit card and my limit is $300, for instance, right? And I spent $30 on it, that's about 10% of what's on there. So I want to make sure I always keep it below 30%. And you can do that by one, just reducing your balances on it, or two, just increasing your limit. So if you spend $300 every month, right, on one credit card, try increasing your limit to about, say, maybe $3,000, right, or $5,000, where the percentages are smaller, but you're still spending the same amount and paying that off on time every single month. And make sure you're paying that off in full, not making minimum payments. Make sure that you're actually paying it off in full. And that payment history, again, like I said previously, is going to help your credit score because you have a history of on-time payments and no late payments. The next thing is to avoid opening too many accounts at once, because if you open too many accounts in a short period of time, it can temporarily ding your score and it can have a negative impact, because anytime you open an account or you try to open an account, what happens is you get a hard inquiry on your account. And if you have about 5 to 10 of those within a short period, it can actually negatively impact your score. Even if you have one, once the credit pool is done, if it's not a soft pull, you can often have a ding in your score temporarily. So keep that in mind. What I actually did, I will confess, I didn't do that when I started with credit. My mindset was that I wanted to just open all the accounts in 1 year at once so that I don't have to open any more later on. So when I first started being conscious of my credit after graduation, what I did was I opened all of them at once, and so my credit score went low. But as time went on, the average year started going up, and I was keeping up with everything, and it came back up because I didn't want to get periodic dings in my score. I just wanted to just get it done the first I get it over with. I wouldn't advise that for people that are not really that savvy with credit. I'll just say that if you open an account, if you try to open not more than maybe once or twice a year, and if you have something like a mortgage or something like a car I don't know how to even call it, a car payment. If you want to apply to just get credit to buy a car, make sure that you're not getting any previous hard inquiries for a while. Leave some space in between. That way your credit looks crispy for your application. The next tip for helping build credit is to consider using what's called a secured credit card. What that is and Discover does this actually. That was how I started. That was my first credit card. So you would make a payment or a deposit of maybe $200. I made a deposit of $200, and once I did that, they gave me a credit with a credit card with a credit limit of $200. So that's what I use, right? So worst case scenario, I can pay for the fee on there. The max I can use on the card is $200, and they would just use my deposit to pay for my fee, right? So once you do that, as it's kind of like a trial period, once you do that for about a year and a half, then you go from a secure credit card to unsecured credit card. They give you a bigger limit, right? So it's a great way to start, a great way to kind of keep yourself responsible. You can't spend past a certain limit. Capital One does it, Discover does, I'm sure American Express and a bunch of that, Chase, all the other people, I'm sure they do it too as well. So you can explore using a secure credit card to help you get used to credit. That way, once you build the fundamentals, now you can go over to the other credit cards that are the normal ones. You can also become an authorized user on somebody else's credit card account, for instance, with your parents, right? Your parents can make an authorized user. That way you can just have your name in the system and help you build credit. Though you're not directly using the credit card, because you're affiliated with that system, it helps you build your credit significantly. So for a lot of parents that have kids growing up, that is something I would definitely recommend, to make sure that your kids are starting off well. Well, not only are you teaching them about credit, you have them as an authorized user on the account. That way the positive credit impact are also impacting their credit scores as well. Also, keep your old accounts open. For example, if you have credit cards where maybe you got too many credit cards at once, you were irresponsible with them and you've paid them off, what I would suggest that you do is just probably just shred the cards if you don't want to use them again, but don't actually close the account, right? Just get rid of the cards themselves so you don't have to use them, and just don't use the, just leave the accounts open, right? Because it helps you build credit history. It helps you keep your lines open, right? So that's important. So make sure that you don't close old accounts off. And you have situations where they will close off. For example, if you're done paying off your student loans, you're done paying off your mortgage, obviously that's going to close up. That's different. But specifically for credit cards, make sure that you have your old accounts open, even if you're not using them anymore. And the next thing is to make sure that you diversify your credit mix. Things that people often look for with the credit people, they want to see a diverse set of credit, right? For example, if you have maybe credit cards, installments, payments, you have maybe mortgages on there, you have car payments on there, so they see that like you're responsible from a holistic or comprehensive point of view, not just with credit cards. So, and that happens. Usually, that just happens as life goes on. You get a house, you get a car, you can make car payments, you're paying off your student loans and all that stuff. So that happens over time. But important, it's just something important to keep that in mind, to make sure you're diversifying the types of credit that you have, so to speak. The next thing is to make sure that you always monitor your credit score and use credit wisely, right? Use it only when you need to use it, right? If you're using it for a cashback, for points, that's fine. But make sure that you always have what I call the collateral, which is the actual money to pay all the credit card off when you use it. Use it like a debit card, essentially, right? Don't use money that you don't have, because if you don't have that money and they're coming back asking you for it, you won't be able to pay. And that's where you get charged with the ridiculous interest rates, anywhere from 24 to 30% on your credit card charges. To make sure that you're always monitoring your score and using it wisely and making full payments every month on the cards, because that will really help you over time. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. I honestly really appreciate it, and I hope to push out more content for you guys. If you find this content helpful, you have any suggestions, please comment that below as well. I'll be more than happy to delve into that content. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.